What's up, my people? Mr. Kozad back again, another video lesson. Today we are finishing our lesson series on adding and subtracting rational expressions. So this is part 2 of a 2-part series. So if you haven't watched part 1, stop what you're doing now and go find part 1. It's actually going to be linked in the description of this video, so you can just click that and go back and watch that first and then come back and check this one out. But if you're here, man, I hope that you are excited. It's a great day to be alive. Great day to talk about some Algebra 2 and specifically complex fractions. We're going to have some fun today, ladies and gentlemen. So all that you need to do is get a piece of paper and get something to write with, and let's dive right in. Here we go. Just so you know, when we get started, we're going to have 5 problems that we work through today. 5 problems that get, in my opinion, progressively more challenging as we go. So starting easy, working our way up. So here we go, complex fraction. Remember that a complex fraction is a fraction within a fraction within a fraction. So here we see clearly that we have a fraction, but we have a fraction within that fraction. So that's why we call this complex. It's a complex fraction. So step number 1 when we solve these complex fractions is we want to get, our goal is to get one fraction on top over one fraction on the bottom. One fraction on the top over one fraction on the bottom. So if you look at the top, that's just 4. That's fine. But on the bottom here, we have 2 terms, 2 plus 1 over x. So we're going to want to take this denominator here and combine those using addition. So here's what we've got. We've got a 4 on the top. That's good. We don't need to do anything with that. But then on the bottom, what we need to do is identify our LCD, our least common denominator. Now, again, I'm going to base everything in this video that you watched part 1. If you don't know what to do with getting an LCD or a least common denominator, you need to stop what you're doing now, click that link in the description, and go watch part 1. I'm telling you, go watch it. I'll walk you through how to find what is an LCD and how to find it, okay? So when I do that, I get 4 over 2x over x plus 1 over x, okay? So what we can do is we can take that bottom and finally get it into one fraction. It becomes 2x plus 1 all over x, okay? So now we've achieved our goal. We have one fraction over one fraction. So now what we do is we are going to divide. We're going to rewrite this as a division problem. But remember that when we divide by a fraction, so 4 divided by 2x plus 1 over x is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So you multiply by the reciprocal of this fraction here on the bottom. So we end up getting 4x on the top all over 2x plus 1 on the bottom. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your final answer. Now, before I move on, someone might see, oh, but Kozad, you've got 4x and 2x. Those are divisible. Not so fast. This 2x is part of a larger addition problem, which means you can't just pick and choose a part of this bottom to cancel with the top. It's got to be all or nothing. So, final answer, 4x over 2x plus 1. Moving on, number 2. Okay, here we have to do some work on the top and the bottom. We've got to get the top to be one fraction and the bottom to be one fraction. So here we go. On the top, my LCD is 3. So I'm going to take that 2 and multiply that by 3 over 3. And I'm going to leave the x over 3 alone. And then on the bottom, my LCD is going to be 2. So I'm going to take 1 and multiply it by 2 over 2 and leave the x over 2 alone. Okay, so clean that up. You get 6/3 minus x/3 all over 2 over 2 minus x over 2. So then what we're going to do is we're going to combine the top into one fraction, 6 minus x over 3, all over 2 minus x over 2. Take the fraction on the top, 6 minus x over 3, and multiply by the reciprocal of the fraction on the bottom. So that's 2 over 2 minus x. And then we're just going to multiply this out. So we get 12 minus 2x all over 6 minus 3x. final answer. Again, just like on the last problem, don't take the bait. Don't see this 12 and the 6 and think, oh, I can reduce that to 2. No, you can't. You can't pick part of an addition or subtraction problem to cancel or to eliminate. You have to do all or nothing. So you can't just isolate the 12 and the 6. It's a package deal. You got to do everything on the top and everything on the bottom. So 12 minus 2x all over 6 minus 3x. Oh, geez. I made a mistake, didn't I? Yep, I made a mistake. Gosh, I've been doing that a lot lately. I think I'm just pumping out too much content, okay? So here, let's go. Oh, my gosh. Somebody probably picked this up, but let's go back. This was supposed to be a plus right here. Man, cosed, that's supposed to be a plus. This is supposed to be a plus, which makes this a plus, which makes this a plus, which makes this a plus. Man, that is my bad. I'm sorry about that. I probably wrote that here, and there was somebody who's like, oh, he messed up. He's going to go back and have to pretend like he meant to do that to see if we were just paying attention. No, you caught me. Just an honest mistake. Sorry about that. Okay, moving on. Number 3. Okay, number 3. Here we go on number 3. So on number 3, again, it's getting progressively more challenging. Okay, problem number 1 is we're going to get the top to be one fraction. And then we're going to also get the bottom to be one fraction, okay? So now if you just look at the top, let's talk about the top for a minute, okay? The LCD of the top is going to be 3 times x plus 2. And the LCD on the bottom is going to be x times x plus 2, okay? So LCD of the top, 3 times x plus 2. LCD of the bottom is x times x plus 2. So let's rewrite that. So first fraction here, 3 over x plus 2. What is it missing? It's missing the 3. So I'm going to multiply by a 3 on the top and a 3 on the bottom to give me 3 times x plus 2. Plus 2/3 is missing the x plus 2. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by x plus 2. So then we repeat the same kind of process in the fractions on the bottom. So 2x over x plus 2 is missing the x in the denominator. So we're going to do 2x times x all over x times x plus 2 minus, I'm not going to miss that sign again. You fools thought I was going to put plus again. Nuh-uh, not me, okay? 1 over x, the second fraction. Let's see what it's missing. It's missing the x plus 2. So we're going to multiply by an x plus 2 on the top and on the bottom. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, let's clean this up. So we've got 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. So that's going to be the numerator on the top. And that denominator is 3 times x plus 2. That's all over 2x squared. Now be careful with this subtraction sign, okay? Be careful with that subtraction sign. Distribute it. So 2x squared minus x minus 2 all over x times x plus 2. Okay? So I don't like where that equal sign is, so let me put that over here. So now let's clean this up a step further. So the top becomes 2x plus 13 all over 3 times x plus 2. The bottom becomes, no change on the bottom, 2x squared minus x minus 2 all over x times x plus 2. So now, next step is to take fraction on the top, 2x plus 13 all over 3 times x plus 2, and multiply it by the reciprocal of the fraction on the bottom, x times x plus 2 all over 2x squared minus x minus 2. Okay? So then what we're going to want to do here is we want to find some factors if anything cancels, and we do. We've got an x plus 2 and an x plus 2 that are going to cancel. So then just multiply but what you have left over. So you have 2x squared plus 13x on the top, and on the bottom we have 6x squared minus 3x minus 6. Final answer. Okay, so that one was a little bit more involved because we had to do, it was a little more complicated LCD on the top and the bottom. Okay, so here we go. Next one, number 4. Okay, number 4. All right, I will tell you that number 4 is going to take maybe a little bit extra space, so I might have to write a little bit smaller than I normally do, but that's okay. You probably or it's easier for you to get work to fit on your paper than it is here. Okay, so here we go. So let's jump right in. So top, we know our goal is to get the top to be one fraction. So I see a denominator of 2x minus 1 and a denominator of 1. Okay, so the LCD there is just 2x minus 1. So first fraction does not need to be changed. But I'm going to take the second fraction and I'm going to multiply the top by 2x minus 1 and also multiply the bottom by 2x minus 1. And then let's look at these fractions on the bottom. Okay, these fractions on the bottom. Now the LCD here is going to be 4x times 2x minus 1. Okay, so that first fraction, what is it missing? Well, it's missing a 2x minus 1. So that denominator is 4x times 2x minus 1 minus, what is the second fraction missing? It's missing the 4x. So that's going to be minus 4x times x all over 4x times 2x minus 1. False alarm. On the top, it's going to be, yeah, I did that right. Never mind. I'm losing my mind, my people. Okay, you probably are too. It's cool. We're all losing our minds together. All right, so let's clean this up a little bit, okay? So I have the top is going to be 3x minus 4x plus 2. Remember to distribute that negative sign. All over 2x minus 1. And then the bottom is going to be 10x minus 5 minus 4x squared all over 4x times 2x minus 1. So now I've got my one fraction on top, one fraction on the bottom. So I'm going to take the top fraction and clean that up a little bit. We'll call that negative x plus 2 all over 2x minus 1. And then we're going to multiply that by the reciprocal of the bottom. So the reciprocal of the bottom, let's do 4x times 2x minus 1. Now I actually started to multiply that out, and I stopped myself because I see that I'm going to have a 2x minus 1 that's going to cancel here. That's going to make my life a whole lot easier. Okay, so now all we have to do is multiply by what we have over, and we have negative 4x squared plus 8x on the top, all over negative 4x squared plus 10x minus 5. And that is your final answer. Now, don't take the bait. Do not take the bait and see, oh, negative 4x squared, those have to cancel. Remember, they do not cancel, okay? They do not cancel. It's part of an addition or subtraction problem, so it's all or nothing. You cannot cancel that, okay? All right, my people, example number 5, okay? Example number 5 is a doozy, okay? It is a fun problem. We got a lot of work that's going to happen here, so bear with me. Here we go. All right, get your mind right. Here it is. All right, so the top is already one fraction. But what I am going to do there is I'm going to take that trinomial on the denominator, that one here, and I'm going to factor it, okay? So again, if you've watched any of the other videos in Chapter 8, you know that I've got a great video on teaching you how to factor. If you don't know how to factor trinomials, go find that factoring video, okay? So this is going to end up being x plus 4 times x minus 2 in my numerator, okay? All over, okay? I'm going to start by just factoring this first trinomial down here, x squared plus 9x plus 20. That's going to end up being x plus 4 times x plus 5 minus 1 over x minus 2, okay? So again, guys, the top fraction is already done for us, luckily, okay? So we're just going to leave that alone for just a little bit. X minus 3 over x plus 4 times x minus 2. Now the bottom is where we've got to do some serious work. We need to figure out what the LCD of the bottom is. Well, if you look, you've got an x plus 4, an x plus 5, and an x minus 2. So that least common denominator is going to be the product of those three things, okay? So if the LCD is x plus 4 times x plus 5 times x minus 2, you look at this first fraction here and decide what is it missing. It's missing the x minus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, let's get back to blue here. I'm going to take that 2x plus 3, and I'm going to multiply it by an x minus 2 on the top and also on the bottom. So I'll do it in red so you can see what's happening here, okay? Minus, now the second fraction, 1 over x minus 2, is missing two things. It's missing the x plus 4 and the x plus 5. So we're going to take 1 and multiply it by x plus 4 times x plus 5 on both the top and the bottom. X plus 4 times x plus 5. Again, on the top and the bottom. Okay? So here we go. So we've got, oh man, we got a mess here. So let me move this just a minute here, guys, to give myself a little bit more room. Okay, because I'll try to squeeze one more line in here and then just go to the next page. Okay. All right, so here's what we've got. We've got our top fraction is, we're not changing that. We're not changing that at all. So we've got x minus 3 all over x plus 4 times, actually, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I am going to take this, and I'm just going to go ahead and move to another page here. So let's add a blank page. Let's rotate that 90 degrees. There we go. Let's paste this baby on here. Uh-oh. Let me rotate that. There. Now we're in business. Okay. Okay, so let me slide this guy down just a little bit. Perfect. I'm feeling real good about this now. Okay, so here we go. X minus 3 over x plus 4 times x minus 2. That's my top. And then on the bottom, okay? On the bottom, let's see. We're not going to multiply anything out just yet, so we're going to leave that as 2x plus 3. Should we go ahead and multiply those? Yeah, let's go ahead and multiply those at this step. Yeah, let's do that, okay? So 2x plus 3 times x minus 2, that gives me 2x squared, plus 3x minus 4x is minus x minus 6, all over that big long denominator, x plus 4 times x plus 5 times x minus 2, minus, let's go ahead and FOIL those out as well. So that's x squared plus 9x plus 20 all over x plus 4 times x plus 5 times x minus 2. Now don't panic because I changed the order here and here. Remember, with multiplication, the order doesn't matter. It's okay to rearrange those. It's no big deal. I just wanted it to look the same. I feel better about that. Okay, I feel better about that. All right, so now let us do some clean up here. So again, my top is going to stay the same. X minus 3. Man, I'm just running out of ideas here. This is just too long of a problem. So perhaps I should add another blank page. Let me grab this guy here, and let me move this to the other page. Copy. Paste. Let's rotate this page 90 degrees. There we go. All right. Now we're cooking again. Okay. So we're cleaning. Top is still x minus 3 over x plus 4 times x minus 2. Bottom, combine your like terms and remember to distribute the subtraction sign. Okay. So 2x squared minus x squared is x squared. Then we have minus x minus 9 more is minus 10x. Minus 6 minus 20 gives us minus 26. All over x plus 4 times x plus 5 times x minus 2. I promise you we're almost there. Okay? Now take top fraction, multiply it by the reciprocal of bottom fraction. So keep top the same. X minus 3 times x plus 4 times x minus 2, and multiply that by the reciprocal. So we've got x plus 4 times x plus 5 times x minus 2 all over x squared minus 10x minus 26. Whew, we are getting there, people. So let's cancel some things. We got x plus 4 and x plus 4. They cancel. We've got negative 2 and we've got x minus 2. Those cancel as well. So what we have left is x minus 3 times x plus 5 in my numerator. So that's going to be x squared minus 3x plus 5x is plus 2x minus 15 all over x squared minus 10x minus 26. Woo! That is a workout, y'all. I don't know about you or what your plans are for the rest of the day, but I would stop, and that is just a lot of learning. I would stop and take a break, go take a walk, get a snack, do something, because that was a workout, y'all. But that's the last problem in our fun video on complex fractions, adding and subtracting. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you stuck with me, and hope you have a great rest of the day. Talk to you later.